Today, for the first time in its modern history, Israel has launched a full-scale strike on Qatari soil, a country long seen as a mediator and ally of the United States. A strike so bold it shatters diplomatic norms. What led to this moment and what lies ahead? Let's find out. To understand, we first need to go back and look at the unusual relationship between Israel and Qatar. Though not formal allies, Israel and Qatar have maintained a delicate balance for years. Since 2012, Qatar has hosted the political leadership of Hamas, including Khaled Mashal, Ismail Haniyeh, and Khalil al-Hayya, under the argument that hosting them made ceasefire negotiations easier. The United States even encouraged this arrangement at times, since Doha's capital became neutral ground for delicate hostage talks and ceasefire deals. But for Israel, this neutral ground was always a double-edged sword. For decades, Qatar has been accused of providing safe haven to radical Islamist leaders and even terrorist financiers, not just Hamas, but also members connected with Hezbollah and other extremist groups. Despite these allegations, Qatar seemed untouchable. Why? Because of US protection. Qatar is home to Al Udeid Air Base, the largest American military installation in the Middle East, making it indispensable to Washington's security strategy. This allowed Hamas leaders to operate from Doha with near impunity. Among them, Khaled Mashal, the former head of Hamas's political bureau; Khalil al-Hayya, a senior negotiator and commander; Zahir Jabarin, Hamas's operations and finance chief; Mohammed Ismail Darwish, head of Hamas's Shura Council; and others such as Musa Abu Marzouk. Qatar argued that their presence allowed it to play a mediating role. But for Israel, the idea of terrorists enjoying luxury in Doha while Israeli civilians bled at home was intolerable. Then came a dramatic shift in Israeli policy. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared bluntly, "The days are over when terror leaders can enjoy immunity of any kind. I won't allow that sort of immunity to exist." He emphasized that any terrorist who kills, harms, or even plots to harm an Israeli civilian will be eliminated, no matter where in the world they hide. This was the foundation of Israel's new doctrine, and the world would see its first real test in Doha. On September 9th, 2025, at precisely 3:46 p.m. local time, Israeli fighter jets unleashed a precision strike on Lek Taifiya, a wealthy neighborhood of Doha. Their target, the Hamas political bureau itself, the very offices where top Hamas leaders met and planned. The targets included Khalil al-Hayya, Khaled Mashal, Zahir Jabarin, Mohammed Ismail Darwish, and Musa Abu Marzouk. Reports confirm that 6 individuals were killed: Humam al-Hayya, son of Khalil al-Hayya; Jihad Abu Labal, director of al-Hayya's office; 3 bodyguards, and even a Qatari security officer. Hamas quickly announced that its senior leadership had survived, but Israel didn't hide behind ambiguity. Netanyahu himself issued a statement. Today's action against the top terrorist chieftains of Hamas was a wholly independent Israeli operation. Israel initiated it, Israel conducted it, and Israel takes full responsibility. He justified the strike as retaliation for 2 recent tragedies: a shooting in East Jerusalem that killed 6 Israelis and the deaths of 4 Israeli soldiers in Gaza. The fallout was immediate. Germany denounced the strike as unacceptable and a violation of sovereignty. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned it, warning it risked destabilizing the region. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres blasted it as a flagrant violation of Qatar's territorial integrity. Even the United States, Israel's closest ally, distanced itself, with President Trump calling it an unfortunate incident and insisting the White House was not informed beforehand. Qatar itself responded cautiously. First, it suggested pausing mediation. Then, in a surprising move, it reaffirmed that it would continue to serve as a mediator in Gaza, a sign that Doha's leaders know their unique diplomatic role still carries weight. But make no mistake, this strike changes everything. It demonstrates Israel's unmatched long-range precision strike capability to hit Doha, thousands of kilometers away, with such accuracy shows not only technological superiority, but also a willingness to defy traditional boundaries of warfare. And Qatar. Despite its wealth and influence, it has no comparable military capacity. It cannot project force back into Israel. Its strength remains in diplomacy, in hosting negotiations, and in wielding soft power, not in fighter jets or missiles. So what comes next? First, negotiations over Gaza may collapse entirely. If Hamas leaders feel unsafe even in Doha, their incentive to compromise evaporates. Second, Israel's doctrine of eliminating terrorists anywhere in the world is now in motion, meaning Hamas leaders in other countries could be next. Third, regional trust will erode. Gulf states will see Israel as unpredictable, capable of striking across borders, even into US-aligned nations. And finally, Israel itself risks deeper diplomatic isolation, facing criticism not just from rivals, but from allies. Yet for Israel, the logic is simple. No terrorist will ever again enjoy a sanctuary. This may reset the rules of engagement in the Middle East, or it may ignite a wider, more dangerous conflict. The world is now watching closely to see whether this was a one-time operation or the beginning of a new era of Israeli counter-terror doctrine. A long-range precision strike in Doha, a fracture in international diplomacy, a new reality in the Israel-Gaza war. What happens next could reshape the entire Middle East. Interesting times coming up in geopolitics. Only the time will tell.